This used to be a really old monitor. Now, it's a full all-in-one gaming PC, and I don't mean just a simple setup. There's an actual desktop PC inside this thing, a dedicated GPU, a proper power supply, everything packed into this single shell. What used to be completely useless can now run the games I actually want to play. And honestly, this was one of the hardest builds I've ever attempted. But that's exactly why I wanted to do it. So today, I'm going to show you how I turned this old monitor into something way more interesting. Let's get started. The outside already looks ancient. If you were born after 2010, there's a good chance you've never even touched something like this. And I have to admit, it's heavy. Like, really heavy. Thick, bulky, and built like a tank. The exterior? Yeah, I'm familiar with it. But what's inside? That's a complete mystery to me. So now, it's time to take it apart and see if there's actually enough space in here to build a PC. First, I remove the stand. There are clips hidden around the corners, and there's no way to get it off without releasing them. I thought this would be easy. I was wrong. This thing fights back. I even cracked parts of the plastic trying to get it open. But eventually, I got it. And when it finally comes apart... Oh my god. Was this thing designed after a jet engine or something? Inside, it's just packed. Layers, curves, weird airflow paths. It actually looks kind of insane. And of course, dust. A lot of dust. Which makes sense. This thing has been around for over 20 years, and let's be honest, no one opens up a monitor like this just to clean it. I'm not going to dive too deep into every internal detail in this video, because right now my goal is simple. Strip everything out, and get this thing ready for a completely new kind of power. After stripping out everything inside the display, I finally get to the part I've been waiting for, planning the layout. I start mapping things out in my head. First, the motherboard, then the GPU, and finally the power supply. I'm going to mount everything onto the original internal tray of the monitor. And honestly, this is where things get interesting. Because there's actually a lot more space than I expected. That gives me the freedom to go a bit bigger this time. For the motherboard, I'm using a B450 IITX motherboard. For the power supply, a FSP 600 watt power supply. And for the GPU, yeah, this is where things change. A full-size GTX 1660 Super. No more low-profile compromises this time. The plan is pretty straightforward. The motherboard will face outward so the USB ports are accessible, the GPU plugs directly into the board, and the PSU sits deeper inside the chassis. Later, I'll run a male-to-female power extension to bring the power input out to the back of the case. But before any of that, I have to measure because I need to cut into the metal frame to expose the motherboard I/O. And yeah, that also means cutting a small section of the outer shell. Just a little, not too much. Enough to give access for USB LAN. The essentials. I'm really trying to keep the original look intact as much as possible. Because the whole point of this build is to hide something powerful inside something that was never meant to have it. After finding the perfect position for the motherboard, now comes the part that actually matters, mounting it securely. This time, I'm not using the usual 8mm metal standoffs. Some parts of the original frame already have awkward holes and uneven surfaces, so using threaded standoffs here would have been a pain. Instead, I went with plastic mounting supports. To make them solid, I first marked out 4 mounting points. Drilled the holes, then drilled smaller holes through the plastic supports themselves. After that, I secured them from underneath with screws. And honestly, it worked way better than I expected. Once all 4 supports were locked in, I just lined the motherboard up with the clips and pressed it down into place. That feeling when it snaps in cleanly. Super satisfying. No wobble, no looseness. It actually feels factory-made. Next up, the GPU. And the thing I cared about most was, how do I make this heavy graphics card stay perfectly stable without building some crazy custom bracket? Turns out the solution was surprisingly simple. I marked one spot on the frame, drilled a hole through both the metal chassis and the GPU I/O bracket, then secured it with a screw. And somehow, it's insanely solid. Way more secure than I thought it would be. Next is the power supply. I mounted it in this position right here, basically using the same method as the GPU. Mark the holes, drill through the frame, then bolt it down. Simple, done. And while I'm at it, I might as well finish the rest of the hardware. For RAM, I'm installing 16 gigabytes total using two 8 gigabyte sticks. And for the CPU, I'm going with a AMD Ryzen 5 2600. Since this chip doesn't run too hot, the stock AMD cooler is more than enough. So at this point, the entire system is basically assembled. Now comes the scary part, putting it all back inside the shell and seeing if anything collides, and wow, everything fits. Way better than I expected. But from the beginning, I already knew one thing was unavoidable. I still had to cut part of the plastic shell to expose the motherboard I/O. So I carefully measured everything, marked the exact area, then grabbed the cutting tool and removed the excess plastic. And after finishing it all, this is the result. Honestly, it actually looks pretty clean. After finally figuring out where every component was going to live, the next step became the part I was honestly dreading the most, the display. Because there was no way I could reuse the original screen. It was just too bulky, too deep, and took up way too much space inside the shell. So if this build was ever going to work, I needed a replacement display. I even went digging through the storage room of a friend who repairs computers, hoping I'd find something that fit. But no matter what I tried, nothing matched the size of the original screen properly. And then I remembered, I still had an old 15.5-inch monitor sitting around. Now, honestly, it's still not a perfect fit. The screen is noticeably wider than the opening, but at this point, I didn't really have a choice anymore, because this was literally the smallest display I had. There's no way I can just shove an entire monitor in here as is. So now, I have to completely strip it down. The stand comes off first, then the plastic shell, until all that's left is the bare display panel itself. That's the only part I actually care about. And honestly, the inside is disgusting. Dust everywhere. It looks like this thing hasn't been opened in years, but none of that matters. My plan is to mount the screen right in the center and trim part of the front shell so it can sit securely in place. Which also means the original exterior is no longer going to stay untouched. And yeah, I'm honestly a little disappointed I couldn't find a display that matched the size better. Because this one, it works. But it's definitely going to need some convincing. After trimming the shell to fit the display properly, I wrapped tape around the edges of the screen to make it look a little cleaner. Then I used hot glue to secure the panel directly to the front housing. And yeah, I know this looks a little scuffed, but honestly, this is the best I can do with the tools I have. I don't own a 3D printer. I don't have fancy custom brackets or modern fabrication tools. So most of this build is just improvisation and stubbornness. So hopefully you won't judge me too hard for this part. And after finishing it, I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little embarrassed looking at it. It's definitely not perfect cosmetically, but one thing I am confident about is that it should work reliably. Next, I need to deal with power. Since both the monitor and the PC use AC power, I decided to merge them into a single power input. After that, I drilled 2 holes into the case and mounted the female power jack securely with screws. From there, it's just routing all the power cables for the GPU and CPU. Then comes the power button. This time, I'm actually reusing the monitor's original power button mechanism. I just shortened the little plastic actuator, lined up a new switch where it presses down, and surprisingly, it's a really simple solution. Now it's finally time to connect the display cable to the graphics card. And before I close everything up and turn this into a finished machine, I need to test it first. Because after all this work, if it doesn't turn on, I might actually lose my mind. Oh my god, and it works perfectly. Now that I know everything is stable, it's finally time to put the whole thing back together, and even reinstall the stand. And just like that, I've officially turned this ancient display into a full all-in-one gaming PC. Now let's see what this thing can actually do. Starting with Minecraft at 32 chunks, and honestly, the performance is way better than I expected. FPS hovers around 150 most of the time. But then I enabled shaders, And yeah, that hit the system hard. FPS immediately drops to around 45. It's still playable, but if you want smoother gameplay, you definitely need to lower the render distance. Next up, Cyberpunk 2077. At low settings, both the CPU and GPU are being utilized pretty evenly, which is actually a really good sign. It means this combo is well balanced for heavier, graphics-intensive games. No major bottlenecking. The only thing I noticed is the temperatures. Both the CPU and GPU climb a bit over 70 degrees Celsius. That's definitely warm, but not dangerous. Still completely acceptable for a compact build like this. As for performance, FPS stays above 60, which honestly feels great for a story-driven game like this. And just like that, I've successfully turned an old, outdated monitor into a powerful, all-in-one gaming PC. Honestly, builds like this are always my favorite, taking something people would normally throw away and giving it a completely new life. So if you want to see more crazy projects like this, let me know in the comments.